Hello, I'm Kerka Hulman. For 2.5 decades, starting back in the 1980s, I was involved in anti-defamation work and hate crimes investigation, defending my spiritual community, on top of all of the work I already had to do as a law enforcement officer for the general community. And this normally involved a group of people who wanted to make the world, in their own minds, a simple place. They wanted to attribute all of their problems and difficulties to a person or thing, to some mythical representation of evil, or to a group of people that they typically would associate with that mythical representation of evil. And this fit perfectly into a system based on guilt, where they would go through the week doing things that they shouldn't, or that were irresponsible, or that harmed themselves or others. And then at the end of the week, they'd go into a temple and address their deity and say, "I'm sorry." And that took away all their responsibility and guilt, and everything was good. And they could go back into the world and continue doing what they had been doing all along. Frustrating dealing with people like this, because they want the world to be a simple place, and they want to take this easy route, which involves no effort other than the occasional prayer and pointing your finger at people or things that you want to blame, rather than digging in and taking responsibility and working on social problems and drug addiction and poverty and cycles of domestic violence and on and on. And all of these things that add up to create the kind of complex people that really do exist in the world. Nothing is that simple. Anyone in law enforcement can tell you that, and that's why it's especially frustrating to see someone in law enforcement attributing a homicide that's just happened down in Florida to witchcraft, to a blue moon, to ritualistic crime, because that's a whole lot easier than admitting that the society where this happened is flawed and work needs to be done and isn't being done. It's just a matter of sitting back and pointing your finger and trying to blame somebody else. Makes you wonder whether this is the 13th century, not the 21st century at times. But, going to keep trying to work at educating people, and hopefully people will start to realize that the world is a complex place and it requires work. So, thanks for listening. Go out there and be glorious.